is up, JHM? How are we doing tonight? You guys doing good? Can we all clap? Let's wake up. I'm a little tired tonight. I need you guys to clap, make me up a little bit. All right. Well, I have my buddy Aiden up here. Ground rules for tonight: when anybody has a microphone, let's make sure we're quiet. We stay paying attention to the speaker. And so tonight we have Aiden, who's going to read from the Bible, Matthew 5, 1 through 9. So can we all clap and give him a round of applause? All right. Give it a try. See if it's on.
Hello?
It's on.
Hey, you better say it.
Go for it, bro. All right. I'll do it. He wanted me to say that he's single and is in 6th grade. That's where he's at. That's for you. That's for that pinky promise.
Hello, my name is Aiden, and I've been going to JHM for 4 weeks. And my favorite part is hanging out with my friends and worshiping. And today I'm going to be reading Matthew 5 through 9. Seeing the crowds, he went up on the mountain, and when he sat down, his disciples came to him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs in the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for those shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God."
Thanks, bro. And so, growing up, before I committed my life to Jesus, I was at school one day, and I was sitting in class, and my buddy came up to me and he said, hey, Zach, are you going to go to Project H? And I was like, Project H? That kind of sounds like that one movie that we shouldn't be watching. But I said, yeah, sure, like Project H, what's that about? And he said, well, it's a party going on Friday night. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I have nothing to do Friday night. And so Friday night comes around. I'm sitting at home, browsing YouTube, playing video games, and I get a text from my friend and said, hey, dude, are you coming tonight? And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll go. And so we get to his place, and guys, this was crazy. We fit like 10 to 15 people in like those large expeditions type SUVs, you know, those big vehicles. So we loaded all of us in there, and we're like, okay, let's do this. And we're going to Project H, and we're going to have a good time. And so we start rolling up to this place, and guys, this neighborhood, there was no streetlights at all. It was super strange, really sketchy. The only lights you would see would be cars coming at you or from behind you. And so we turn on the brights, we start rolling into this neighborhood, just dirt roads, dogs running across the street light. It was just weird. It was a weird place to be. I was super sketched out. I was like, I don't know if I should be here right now, but I've already committed to it, so let's go, let's send it. And so in this neighborhood, to park, you had to park literally like wherever there was an open spot. And so my buddies and I, we found this big slope. It was a big hill, probably like, if you climbed like 20, I don't know, like 30 of these steps, that's where we parked. Like in the corner of this neighborhood, against this giant brick wall. No one saw us. I didn't even see the car after I stepped down from the hill. I was like, okay, well, where'd the car go? It doesn't matter. We're going to a party. And so we showed up at this party, and we made the hike up this hill. And guys, there was like 250 people, maybe 300 in this backyard. It was like sardines in a can. Have you guys ever seen sardines in a can? I know it's like pretty gross. Sardines is like super salty. But if you open it up, it looked like that party. There was people everywhere, shoulder to shoulder, no breathing room whatsoever. And so everyone was having their good time, doing their thing, probably doing stuff we probably should not do, that I won't go into detail about. And so I was standing there, and I was drinking my water, and all of a sudden I hear, Zach! And I was like, what? Whoa. I dropped what I was doing, and I saw this kid running to the side of the house, running to the front, and he paused, and he looked at me, and he was like, you got to do something. And I was like, what are you doing, bro? And so he stopped in front of the house, and he was staring at like 10 to 15 people approaching this house. And I was like, oh, shoot, I've never seen these people in my entire life. Mind you, there was another group of 10 to 15 right by the house, right in front of the garage door. And I was like, okay, I've seen these people before. Never seen these folks. And in that moment, I was like, oh, shoot. I probably should not be here right now. I know what's about to go down. These people look kind of sketchy, a little suspicious. I feel a little uncomfortable. My palms began to sweat. My feet began to sweat. My heart was beating super hard. My mind was racing. I was like, oh, no, like, Mom, where are you? 911. I was panicking because I had this intuitive feeling it was what was about to take place was not good. And so they approached us, and things were said that we probably have not repeated here at JHM. But I'll come back to the end of the story in a little bit. And tonight, we're going to unpack that feeling of standing there, understanding, okay, I'm in a situation, all peace went out the window. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I thought the situation was going to be a good time. I showed up to this party expecting to go home safely, that no harm was going to be done to anybody. But there I was stuck, I was confused, I was super like, oh, I just want to get out of this situation. See, what I could have done, I could have stepped into the situation and made it better, but no, instead I stood there. See, at any given moment, we can either make peace of a situation, or we can remain quiet and not do anything about it. And so tonight, we're going to unpack the idea, what does it mean to be a peacemaker? Someone say peacemaker. Peacemaker. Someone say peacemaker. One more time. See, before we go any further tonight, I first need to take a drink of water because I'm thirsty. So before we go any further, we got to get this straight. Quietness and peace are not the same thing. What I mean by that is you can be here at JHM tonight, have beef with someone. I hope that you guys don't have beef with anybody here. I pray that this is the most loving, welcoming place on the planet. But you can be sitting there talking trash on someone in your head and not say it out your mouth. Or you can be in class and you think someone's outfit's a little ugly, but you won't say it to their face, but you're thinking it in your head. I know I've been there. I've been in that moment. I was like, this dude's outfit, I don't know. Maybe he should not rock J's. Maybe Vans is like more his style. You know, we don't always have to say what we say to someone out of our mouth, but we can always say it in our head. Another thing, how about this one? We're in a situation, and we're like a group of 4 to 5 friends. We're having a conversation with our friends, and all of a sudden, someone's name gets brought up, and they're not in that same circle as you. Have you guys been there? Where you guys are like talking about someone, they're not there in the same room, and someone says something about them, and it makes you feel a little uncomfortable, like, oh, I don't know if we should be talking about that person when they're not in the room. I don't know if that's the thing. If you're anything like me, it makes me really uncomfortable talking about people when they're not there. What a peacemaker would do is say, hey, that person's not in the room right now. Let's wait until they are here, and then we can talk about that thing. A peacemaker says to the person that maybe you did voice you voiced what you said to the person about maybe you didn't like their shirt. But a peacemaker would step in at that situation and says, hey, dude, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I think there's a better way to handle how you feel. Because a peacemaker changes the conversation, it changes the situation, and it changes the experience of our reality. If I'm going to be honest, today's culture, we can do a lot more harm with our fingers than our mouths can. What I mean by that, we can be sitting in class, as I just said earlier, we can whip out our phones, and we could be texting someone saying, dude, I can't believe Joe Schmo just got dumped. Like, how humiliating. He just got broken up with his girlfriend. I wonder what he did. He might have did something really bad. Or, oh my gosh, this person's outfit, can you believe he's wearing that right now? And we're texting our buddies this. Or for the guys in here, it's like, oh my gosh, like, dude, this kid's so annoying. His ego's through the roof. All he does is talk. All he wants is he wants to get all the girls' attention. Or, how about this one? This one's funny. We're on social media, and we see someone's photo post, but we ignore it. We swipe through because we just had an argument with someone. Like, we can be on social media, scrolling through Instagram, and we see that person's post, but we just scroll by, not liking it like we normally do. I've been there. Maybe I've been in an argument one time, and I follow this person on Instagram, and they post something, and I scroll by on purpose because I don't want to give them the attention or the validation that I even saw their photo. Or maybe you're in here tonight and you're hyper aggressive and you think it's cool to like go on someone's social media and just post a mean comment. what a peacemaker would say to the person wearing a shirt that we don't agree with is saying, hey, I think that looks good on you. Or, hey, man, I know you just went through a breakup. I know you're going through a hard time. But let me tell you, God has a plan for you. God has a person for you. God has purpose for your life. He's already ahead of you, paving a path that it's already set before you. All you got to do is trust in it. The best is yet to come. Someone say, the best is yet to come.
The best has come.
One more time.
The best has come.
Beautiful. But to be a peacemaker, guys, we first have to have peace ourselves. See, you can't make anything without having the thing, the tools, the assets of trying to make the thing. It's been said this way. You can't really, truly love someone without experiencing love first yourself. Isaiah 9:6 says this, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called a Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Prince of Peace. Someone say Prince of Peace.
Prince of Peace.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
See, to experience true peace is to experience Jesus, because he is the Prince of Peace. Someone say Prince of Peace one more time.
Prince of Peace.
See, to know what peace is, you first need to know who peace is. And to know Jesus is to know peace, and to know peace is to know Jesus. Maybe you're in here tonight and you're thinking, okay, what is this dude talking about? Princes and Reese's Pieces and what? I want a Reese's Pieces. Princes, that's a thing from medieval times. Princes don't exist anymore. Well, yes, he does. His name is Jesus. Jesus is the reigning prince. He's alive and he's doing fine, if you ask me. So maybe you are here and you're like, okay, what's this dude talking about? Princes and stuff. Well, let me tell you, the moment we say to ourselves, I'm done being the Prince of me, I'm submitting to the Prince of Peace, is the moment we can let God be God in our lives. The moment we say, I'm done being the Prince of me, I'm submitting to the Prince of Peace, is the moment we can let God be God, because God will be God nonetheless. No matter what happens, God will be God. But for God to use us and for us to be submitted to him, it takes us taking ourselves off the throne of our own life, getting off our high horse and saying, oh, I got life, I'm good, I don't need God, I'm doing fine without him, I'm getting straight A's, God wasn't there, I did all those, I got straight A's by myself. It's like, well, okay, buddy, school's gonna come to an end one day, life's gonna hit you in the face. What you gonna do? You're gonna need someone on your side. See, life's a lot safer when we're under someone that we can trust. When we put God on the throne, it alleviates a lot of pressures in life, but that's for another sermon. So if you guys are taking notes, point number 1, to make peace, we first need to know the person of peace. Point number 2, to make peace, we need the right ingredients. Someone say right ingredients for me. One more time. Beautiful. See, in order to be peacemakers, we need to have the right ingredients. Have you guys ever made like a knockoff burrito? Like you try to put like whatever you find in the pantry or the fridge. You're like, I'm gonna throw in like, I don't know, beans and Cheetos, chicken, canned tuna. When I was younger, guys, probably I think 8th grade, I told my mom I wanted to be like a sandwich chef one day. I walked into the pantry. I grabbed buns, probably like those brioche buns. You guys know like those bougie buns that you guys can grab, like the really expensive ones? Our family loves those. I'll pray for you if you don't get them because they're really good. Best thing you can get. But I walk inside this pantry, our pantry. I take these brioche buns. I take the canned salmon. Have you guys had canned salmon before? Good. It's get your bubble guts. It's not good. But I grabbed the canned salmon, grabbed the brioche buns. I grabbed cinnamon, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, relish, chips, it was like a mukbang sandwich. And I started mixing this thing together. And I prepared it, and I was like, Mom, check out my sandwich. She said, what is that? That's nasty. That's not a sandwich. But I love the Bible, guys, because it literally gives us the cookbook of how to make peace. I'm a terrible cook. That sandwich was not good. But the Bible gives us a cookbook for peace. And I ask one of you guys, if I say, hey, if you guys ask me, if you say, hey, can you make me a sandwich? Who likes sandwiches in here? And so if you guys ask me, hey, Zach, can you make me a sandwich? I'm like, yeah, sure, bud. I go into this pantry. I start grabbing like cinnamon, ketchup, relish, whatever goes on your guys' sandwiches. And I have it all in my hands, and I'm walking out with it. And I get to the table, and then I drop it all, but I still got the bread. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to make Sally a sandwich. I'll put one piece of bread here, and here. Well, here you go. See, what would happen, he would take it because he might be hungry, but he would look at me and say, hey, I think you're forgetting some stuff. Like, this is just 2 pieces of bread, right? And in the same way, when we try to be peacemakers without the right ingredients, God's like, well, nice try, but I think you're forgetting some stuff. Like, that looks cute, but I think you're forgetting some ingredients to be a peacemaker. Someone say peacemaker. One more time. See, to be a peacemaker, our ingredients are the Beatitudes, and it takes all of the Beatitudes to be a peacemaker. So we first must know who peace is and where it comes from, and then how do we apply it all. In Matthew 5:9, it goes on to say, peacemakers, my voice cracked, Matthew 5:9 goes on to say, peacemakers will be called the sons of God. See, guys, being a peacemaker is a clear sign for those who are sons of God. Give me like a second. Who all in here is a son or a daughter? Raise your hand. Who all here has a role model in their life?
I am the role model.
All hands up. Who's got a role model that they look up to? All hands.
My parents.
I'll raise my legs up if I can. See, the thing about a role model, and I'm a son myself. I love my dad. I love my stepdad. Come from a divorced family, but I look up to all my influencers in life, like my dad, my stepdad. And so coming from a broken family, it made this dynamic a little interesting. It made this dynamic a little interesting because I was like, okay, well, I got my real dad, I got my stepdad, I got certain people in my school that I look up to that are principals and pastors. But if you guys are a son or daughter in here, how true is it that we try to be like who influences us? We try to be like our role models. See, I try to dress like my dad. I try to talk like my dad, be like my dad, have the mannerisms of my dad. Even online, when I started getting into social media, there's certain influencers that I looked up to. Like, isn't it true? Like, you guys can be on social media and you see someone you like that is rocking a t-shirt really cool, and you go online and buy that t-shirt. Or you see a pair of shoes, someone's like, oh, I want to get some of those. They look really good on them. Well, in the same way, for me, for example, I see how much food my dad puts on his plate, and I try to put that much food on my plate because I want to eat like him. In the same way, God is hoping that we would catch a glimpse of him and be like him, because the goal as a Christian, the Bible, it kind of references Jesus or God as our Father. And so the goal is for us to be like him. Just how we, like, growing up, we try to be like our dad, and we go to, Thanksgiving or Christmas, and, grandma comes by or grandpa, and they're like, you remind me a lot like your dad. Well, the same way, our goal, not for ego's sake, not for any other sake, just to be Christ-like, but our goal is that we would step out of this building, step out of these rooms, out these doors, onto our student campuses, wherever we go, on our baseball teams, football teams, cheerleading squads, TikTok squad, I don't know if that's even a thing. But our goal is for us to step in these places and for someone to stop us in our track and be like, oh my gosh, I heard about this Jesus guy, and you kind of remind me a lot like him. That would be a win. Not for ego's sake, not for a confidence boost, just because our goal is to be like Jesus. Someone say Jesus.
Jesus.
One more time. Jesus. Our bottom line tonight. I know you guys like bottom lines, so I don't want to miss this.
No, I don't. But I'm taking a picture.
Peacemakers promote the presence of Jesus. Peacemakers promote the presence of Jesus. Someone say peacemakers.
Peacemaker.
Matthew 5:9 again says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God." Someone say sons of God.
Sons of God.
Blessed are those who promote the presence of Jesus, for they shall be called the sons of God. Blessed are those who promote the presence of Jesus, for they shall be called the sons of God. Maybe you're in here tonight and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I promote Jesus? How do I promote the presence of God? How do I be a peacemaker? Well, it's a funny thing. I thought about this earlier. And if you guys know like what an ambassador is on Instagram, like someone can like make money through like advertisements by posting their stuff on Instagram. You guys have seen that before? Maybe like, I don't know, who's an influencer out there that you guys like on TikTok or Instagram? Shout him out.
Nobody.
Charlie D'Amelio, something like that. Well, as I began trying to figure out how do I make this applicable. Well, to buy into anything and be an ambassador, you got to really believe in that product. You really got to believe in what you're trying to sell, because if you sell something that doesn't really work, you know, people are like, oh, that dude's a phony. Like they just sold like a broken object to us, but they're doing it just for money. You know, they start posting on Instagram and they say that, oh, this product will make you lose 300 pounds in a month. It's like, sign me up. I'd be invisible if I lost 300 pounds, but, or if you get, take this pill, you'll get jacked in a month. It's like, man, that's all funny business, to be honest, because in the end of things, at the end of it all, it doesn't really work. And so you really got to buy in to the thing you believe in. So it's the same way ambassadors or influencers buy into their product, and they really believe on it. I mean, they'll go off on a limb because they believe in it so much. Well, in the same way, we have to get to a spot in our lives to where we really buy into Jesus. We really got to buy into Jesus to be a peacemaker. And being a peacemaker is an action statement. Making something is an action statement. See, I'm gonna go make a sandwich. I'm gonna go make this. I'm gonna go make that. I'm gonna go make a car. It's like a peacemaker is an action statement. But we got to have Matthew 1-8 on lock before we can make anything. Because again, I said it earlier. You got to have all the things together before you try to make your thing you're trying to make. So we pray and ask Jesus, it's okay, God, really make me like you. Show me how to make me like you, Jesus, because I really want to be like you. I want to be able to spread peace wherever I go, because, again, to know Jesus is to know peace. And once we know him, we can become like him. But we are who we hang out with. I'm sure you guys have heard that before. I'll explain it after this quick intermission water break. We are who we hang out with. Can you guys say that for me? We are who we hang out with. One more time.
We are the best.
See, before I started serving at JHM, I was like, okay, I remember myself in middle school, I was like very awkward. I was a little strange. I sat at lunchtime at Citrus Hills. Shout out to Citrus. Love that place. But I sat there at lunchtime. By myself, being weird, being awkward, a little strange. I didn't know many people. I drank this Lipton iced tea every day that my mom packed, and it gave me like really bad stomach aches, but I drank it anyways because my mom packed it. It gave me like a sense of comfort that my mom packed my lunch, and I didn't really want people to know about it because I was like, I think I'll get made fun of, I didn't really have many friends. I had really bad stage fright. I shared this with Austin earlier. It's not on my notes, but I was so scared of public speaking that I gave a poem. You guys probably do poems in middle school where you guys have to read it, you write it down, you say it in front of class. I didn't like it. I had such a fear of public speaking that I would get up, and one time my knees buckled and I passed out because I was so scared. I know some of you in here tonight, it's been said that the fear of public speaking is scarier than death. It wasn't until high school that I got a decent group of guys around me, but that's another story. Quickly fast forward, it wasn't until college that I got guys around me that pulled something out of me and said, hey dude, there's something in you. There's a gift in you. But I didn't believe that for myself because I didn't have anyone speaking in my life saying over me, God's got a plan for your life. God's got a purpose for your life. It takes people to be around to call out the best of you. You are who you hang out with. And sure enough, I started hanging out with better guys, better friends that believed in God. And my faith in Christ wasn't the sharpest. I was kind of waffling. I was trying to figure out how to live a Christian life in middle school and high school and college. And I was like, I don't know how to do this thing. But as I got to college and I got around guys that knew how to do it, they showed me the way. They showed me how to do it. You are who you hang out with. Someone say it again. You are who you hang out with. The more we hang out with Jesus, the more we can be like him. We can pick up his mannerisms, and I know we get the Holy Bible. We don't have them in physical form. But for those of you who've been in the Bible for a while, the Bible is a living, breathing Word of God, and man, it's changed my life. So at that story, as I said earlier during our opening, I was standing there on the sidewalk by the house, and I was like, okay, what's about to go down? What is about to go down? These people charged up the driveway. My friends charged them. Fists were flying. Faces were beaten in. Blood was on the ground. Bones were being broken. Cuss words were being thrown out. And I was standing there. I was standing there saying, oh my gosh, I just let this opportunity slip from my hands. I could have stepped in and said, hey guys, is this really worth it? In 5 years from now, is this really worth it? It was a life-changing night. A couple of those guys are in prison for life. And I stood there on the sidelines watching it all take place. I missed that opportunity. So what I should have done is said, hey guys, is this really worth it? In 5, 10 years from now, is this really worth it? No, it's not. Because God had a plan for those men. God had a plan for those teenagers there. God had